Hello, this card I'm making today is another birthday card. This card will feature a background that I have made using a galaxy background technique which I learned online on YouTube. Looks very complicated, but it's really very simple to do, and just a few materials is all you need, and it starts from just a plain piece of white paper. The inside of the card is very simple. It just has one little sentiment. So let me go over what materials I'm using today. I have a card base cut 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have two white panels, which are 4 by 5 1/4, a white panel which is 3 3/4 by 5, and a yellow panel which is 4 1/4 by 5.5. Basically just 1/4 of a sheet of cardstock. The stamp sets I'm going to be using today is Fawn Out of This World stamp set, Stampin' Up! Dragonfly Dreams, and I have a stitched star die cut. This doesn't have a name. I got this online at Amazon for just a couple of dollars. Make a little room here. I'm going to be using my Versafine Onyx Black, and I'm going to be doing the clear embossing over black technique. So I need my clear embossing powder and embossing buddy. This is optional. You don't have to emboss this little guy, but I find I do better with my watercoloring if I start embossed. I also have watercolor pencils. Any one that you have you can use. 3 shades of brown, peach, black, and a gray. I'm also going to be using my Spectrum Noir sparkle pen and my Wink of Stella glitter pens. I have gold and pewter, which is a silver. I'll also of course need my aqua pen for my coloring, and the colors I'm using to create the background are the Distress inks from Ranger. I have Fossilized Amber, Peacock Feathers, Dusty Concord, Picked Raspberry, Chipped Sapphire, and let me pick this up, Black Soot. I'm going to be needing distress blending tools to do this technique. I use a combination of the Ranger blending tool. This comes in round and rectangular. The rectangular ones, this is the pad. Oh, that wasn't a good one to pick up. This is the pad, which you just adhere to the back with Velcro. Pretend this is rectangular, and you use the tool this way. These tend to be a little expensive, so I found if I go to Lowe's, these are the smallest size of paint roll refills, and this was 2 in a pack for $2. So you can get these from Ranger either in round or rectangular, or you can go to your hardware store and get paint rolls. Both will work the same way. Alright, let me clear away this stuff and we'll start right in. Alright, I'm bringing in a piece of copy paper to help me not make a mess. Even though my work surface is non-stick and easily clean up, I don't want to make too much of a mess. So I have the smallest panel, the one that is 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm going to start with there. The galaxy technique means that you take your colors. In this case I have these lighter colors, and you lay them in place across the white, and then you blend the colors that you have with the black, and that creates the effect. So let's just start in. And it doesn't look very nice when you first start off, but just have faith and it will look just like you want it in the end. There is no real right or wrong way to do this. So you just put the colors in randomly, relatively heavy to start out with. And I'll just go through all the colors one by one, and I will speed up this part a bit. Okay, now this doesn't look like much, but trust me, it's going to be fine. So now that I have all the colors in place, what you need to do next is take the black soot and blend between where the two colors meet, all the way around, just blending all the colors out. Now that you have that stage, you take the black soot and you go over the whole thing, all along the edges, coming in from the outside. And if the area is too light, just go right over it with the black. Okay, looking good. I've made a huge mess here. Now, I forgot to get my water. Now you need water and a clean paper towel, which I have here. Just take your background and you spray it with the water at about that much distance. Distress ink reacts with water. So you wait a second, and you take your paper towel and blot the water off. And there you have it. And it's really starting to come together. And if you thought that you didn't have enough of a splatter pattern, you could always add a little bit more. Like I think I might like a little bit more down here, not too much. There. Now, the real fun. Now, bring in a clear block and just a little bit of white. It's more than enough. And you need a paintbrush. So you just reconstitute that paint with water. Get it really wet. You could do this with a white pigment ink also. It works just fine. I just happen to have some white paint. There we go. Now you just hit the back of your paintbrush and put splatters all over it. You can just hit it directly if you want it. There we go. Set this aside. And there is the galaxy background already. I'm going to take this off camera and hit it with my heat tool and dry it out. Just one moment. Okay. You could have also let this air dry, but I wanted to speed this up. So let me clear this stuff up real quick. Finish with all of this. Take one of the whites and the yellow. The star panel I cut by, I think it was this one. This one's a big one. Yes. And the one right below it. So this is the background for the mat for the background. So to save paper, I'm going to cut my star out of this because it will be covered and you won't see it. And the yellow I'm going to cut out of this one. So I'm going to run this over to my Big Shot and I'll be right back. Okay, and now the die cutting is done. Usually I'm a lot more conservative with my paper usage, but I didn't care about that. I have plenty of that yellow paper. So you have to be really careful with this one to make sure that the points is completely hidden by the background. So we'll double check that, and it is hidden. So that's good. Set that aside. Okay, now it's time to stamp my little spaceman or woman. So I have my Misty tool. I've already put the stamps in place where I need them to be. And I'm going to take my die cut and put it in place. This magnet is very strong. Whew. Okay. You could have done the stamping and then the die cutting if you want it, whichever works best for you, but I found it was better for me to work from the die cut. All right, I'm going to ink this up with my Versafine. There we go. Set that aside for 1 second. And while I'm doing the stamping, I'm going to clean this up real quick. This is a rag that I have soaked with my cleaning solution that I made handmade. You can find that link on my website. Okay, it took a while. Got my sentiment ready to go now for the inside of the card. It says, enjoy your special day. I think I may go and put a few stars on the inside of this one later. But for now, I'll just move on. Okay. Now the watercoloring part. This is going to be a very simple watercoloring. I'm not an expert at it, but I do well enough to keep me happy. So the watercoloring technique is you start with, I'll do the hair first. You start with the lighter color and then you progress through the darker shades and adding the darkest color for highlighting. So let me illustrate that with his hair. So I'm going to go all over with the lightest brown. And then bring in the next brown from the edges. And then the darkest brown. And then all over again with the lightest to blend it. The water will finish this blending up for you, but this is a start. Okay, after you do that, you take your aqua pen, get the cup of water started, and you just blend it out. Very simple. Okay, you need a clean paper towel to clean your brush. I'm going to finish this up real quick and speed right through. Alright, that's the coloring. I don't know how, I picked up some red on this blue, so now it's purple, but that's fine. Now I'm going to take my tape runner and glue this little guy to this. I think it's had enough time to have dried off. Okay. Okay, now final assembly. Take my card base. And where's my bone folder? My bone folder. You may have noticed that I mentioned embossing, but I didn't do it. I decided that I would try this without embossing the spaceman. I embossed this one, so it looked just fine to me without embossing. So that's completely up to you. If you were to emboss it, when you stamped the spaceman and the stars, you would just dip it into your clear embossing powder while it was wet, and you would pick up embossing powder on this and then just hit it with your heat gun and it would be raised. There are many videos on my channel showing how to do that technique if you wanted to learn more. But for this one, I decided not to do it. Okay, taking my ATG gun. Okay. This is a little warped from the extra ink, so I'll just give it a little push back. Just add a little bit extra tape and it'll take care of that warping. It'll lay flat. You know, it'll be easier to put this on there first because of this big hole. Okay. Now this on that. There we go. Now for this little guy, we'll pop him up with some foam tape. Messy, but it gets the job done. Okay. Come on, come on. There we go. All right. Now that he's in place, I'm going to finalize the coloring for him. I didn't want to do this because I didn't want to accidentally knock some of the glitter off. So you take the gold and carefully paint the connections for his helmet, his belt, and the ends of his gloves. And you take the silver and you paint his gloves and his boots. Okay, finally the sparkle pen, and I'm gonna go all over the yellow outside. I could have used yellow glitter paper for the star, but it's so little showing that seemed like a huge waste, and this works just fine for me. And now it will be a sparkly twinkling star. It doesn't show up on camera very well, but it's really sparkly in real life. These two items are my favorite stamping tools. Okay, that's the finished card. It was very simple, very quick. The longest part was doing the background, and that's only because there were so many colors. I could have done it with a couple of fewer colors, but I liked how this looked. Thanks for watching. Please take an opportunity to try the Galaxy technique yourself. It really pays off any kind of celestial card. It will look really great and give it a little extra something something. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Please subscribe. Take care.